The one reason for us thinking of doing that was the fact that Cruising's genes had proven in his own ability to jump and in the ability of his offspring as event horses and show jumpers to be at the top of their tree. His genetics were obviously needed back in Ireland again. So we decided there and then that, having taken the biopsies, that we would try to clone Cruising. It's a very technical process and obviously handled by high-class technicians. And they basically, what happens is they took 4 biopsies off Cruising's neck, and they are then sent to the laboratory where they are put into a medium and cultured. And eventually what happens is that once they start the cells start to divide, they take the eggs from a mare and they totally flush out all the DNA out of those eggs, and they implant into the egg the DNA of Cruising that is growing. It actually wasn't our intention to have 2. Obviously, if you get 1 and you're delighted with that. But the fact remains is that the way it's done, they start off with about 11 embryos going into about 11 mares. And then, like all embryos, along the way you lose a few. So at the end of the day, we ended up with 2. But they definitely have a lot of similarities. Some different ones. Cruising always had the habit of, when he was going into the ring to jump, or even in the stable and something you gave out to him, that he'd flap his lips together. And one of them is already doing it. So I just couldn't believe it the other day. He looked at me over the door and I gave out to him and he flapped his lips at me. So I don't know what that means, but it's quite startling when you do see these things. Things change. I can remember when we started here with AI, I was down in Mill Street, and there was a very eminent stallion owner standing in front of me with 4 or 5 gentlemen around him that were obviously asking about his stallions. And he turned around and he said, and you know that Mary McCann up in Kildare? Well, she started to send semen down on the train. And it doesn't work, you know. I mean, this is madness. How can you put semen in a container and send it on the train and get mares and foal? AI getting knocked on the head, and then when we started to do embryo transfer, the same thing happened. Now you have some very good horses out there that are jumping, admittedly, basically out of mares that are like the mares that have given the embryo, and they're at the top of their tree. So let's hope with a new thing now we have cloning.
In the 8-horse jump off, and I say it's Trevor Coyle again with Cruising. And just watch the turn Trevor Coyle gets from here. Beautiful balance. They've lost in the rhythm of their stride. And again going across, says Matty's time, just to remind us. A little bit of safety check going to the last, but Trevor Coyle for Ireland, and Cruising their 2nd win of the 98-99 season. Just look at the turn here, almost turning before they landed. Terrific balance in this stallion, and that power of the back end to kick away again. So Trevor Coyle picking up